All right, Jesse on Fire, welcome back to the channel. So, full disclosure, I had already recorded a video about Anthony Smith and the Dan Blizarian situation, and I was uploading it. And then Anthony called me. And so I was like, bro, did you realize that you were going to have the biggest story on in the MMA community? He's like, no. And I was like, hey, I'll tell you what, how about I just hit record and we can do an interview? But anyway, if you like the content, subscribe and ring the bell. And since we're going to be talking about Dan Blizarian and so is Anthony, I think this is a good video to plug Yo Kratom, dude. Because Yo Kratom is the cheapest Kratom in the world, and it's also the highest quality. So $60 kilograms, if you're a Kratom user, you will not regret going through Yo Kratom. They literally deliver to you in 2 days. 2 days. $60 kilograms, delivered in 2 days, and all of a sudden, you're like, wow, I'm saving a lot of money, dog, and I feel just as good. YoKratom.com. So did you know when you told that story, it was going to be the biggest story in the MMA community for the next month?
No, I had no idea. I'm on the podcast with this thing, and we just rap about whatever pops in our head. And I don't know. He brought up Dan Bilzerian, and I just told a Dan Bilzerian story that I had.
That is a hell of a story, though, dude. It's great. Like, have you seen him since then ever?
No, never. No, we don't run in the same close circles or anything. And honestly, I've ran into Cowboy a handful of times since then and never said anything. But I've always given Cowboy a pass on it because I know that deep down Cowboy's a good dude, and sometimes you drink too much or whatever, and you end up in a weird circle with rich guys, and shit happens sometimes. But I think Cowboy's character is shown through positively more times than it has negatively.
Yeah.
So I've always given him kind of a pass on that and just been like, he was kind of fucked up, and by and large, Cowboy's a good dude, and I think that if I ever brought it up, I think he would have apologized. So I've always kind of given him a pass.
I'm sure that he's probably going to call you in the next day or two anyway. I mean, I would guess. If it was me, I would just be like, wait, what?
I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah.
And maybe not. I don't even need it. I only told the story because it was a Dan story, and I think everyone kind of thinks Dan Bilzerian's kind of a douchebag. So that was just my douchebag Dan story.
So I had actually already filmed a video about this, and in the video, I realized I don't know if I can just automatically assume everyone knows who he is. And so I was like, here, let me just show you guys his Instagram, and I didn't follow him, and it was just there's a picture of him surrounded by 30 girls in a bed. I was like, this is perfect. This is who Dan Blizarian is.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
30 girls that are getting paid to be there.
100%. And that's just kind of, I don't even know Dan. I guess I know of him, what I've seen on social media and what I've heard about him from people that do know him. And other than this one thing, he's never done anything to me. It's just this is a one-off. And I've always just assumed he was just a hella douchebag.
Yeah.
I don't actually know him.
Yeah. I said too in the video, I was like, in all honesty, I watched him on Rogan. I watched that Rogan episode. He strikes me as a dude that if he wasn't blacked out drunk, there's a 0% chance that something like that happens. But, you could get me. There's no amount of booze that has me doing that.
Well, and that's the thing. I think that's a character issue. Just because that was my mom, it's a story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And because of the situation that was going on when it happened, it's a deal. But how many times has he done that to just regular folks, or how, you know what I mean? I think that's the thing that probably people are latching onto. And again, I'm not out here trying to attack Dan and definitely not Cowboy. If I had an issue with Cowboy, there's been plenty of situations for me to deal with that issue, whether that be bring it up to him or flip out or whatever. And maybe I'm a weirdo, because I haven't, initially I was pretty pissed at Cowboy as well. But I think the more I thought about it, you stick me in a room with a bunch of millionaires or whatever, and just, you get blacked out drunk. I can't guarantee that I wouldn't, do something stupid. I'm sure I wouldn't kick someone out of their seat, but you know what I mean? I've just been around him enough to see that he's a decent guy. And that's why I've never said anything. I think that was probably just an isolated situation. And I don't necessarily believe that it's that isolated of a situation when it comes to Dan Bilzerian.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
To be fair, I could have gotten a hold of Dan if I wanted to,
Yeah.
It's just, I just always figured I'd see him when I seen him, and we would have a conversation about it.
What kind of conversation?
I think that depends on him. think he decides where that conversation goes.
Yeah.
And listen, bro, this is UFC 235. That's how long I've held on to that. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I don't necessarily say I'm a guy that holds grudges a lot, but I never forget.
Of course.
And the first time we seen each other, I would have had a conversation about it for sure.
Yeah, I said in the video that I filmed before you called, I was like, Anthony is like a guy, and I don't know if you guys are good enough at reading people to know this, but he'll talk calm, and his blood pressure probably wouldn't raise even a beat while he, removed your heart from your chest if he had a reason to do it.
For sure. And if he was cool about it and was like, listen, my bad, even if he doesn't, neither one of them probably even remember it because it was a while ago and they're super drunk. So like, if I was to have a conversation with him and he's like, man, I don't remember it, but my bad, I apologize, but like we can move on. But like, if he was a dick about it, then that conversation goes a different way.
Yeah. It's a crazy story one way or the other. It's like,
I didn't think it was going to be that crazy.
Yeah.
It's mind blowing to me that like me and Bisping, we're dropping cutting edge, analysis and deep dives into the minds of a Hall of Famer and a top 5 fighter on, kind of controversial issues in the sport. And that's kind of the thing that everyone latched onto. I guess that was kind of more the shocking part to me. I thought I was going to get a lot of shit for my take on Holly Holm versus Ketlin Vieira. That's kind of what I expected, but I definitely didn't expect this one.
Dude, there's a reason why I'm the first fucking guy who's not like a well-known UFC fighter to kind of break through the glass ceiling and build a channel, is because I recognized exactly that this is exactly how I built my channel. Like as soon as I heard this story, I was like, oh my God, that is going to be a fucking massive story. I hit you up immediately right afterwards.
Yeah, I guess I'm just so deep into the MMA world that this has happened with Bisping and I a couple times where we'll have like a really controversial topic in the sport and we'll deep dive into it. And then something that he and I say like in passing or like a filler story or just something that we think is funny or whatever is like the thing that catches the headlines. And it's just, I scratch my head on it all the time. Like, wow, that's the one thing that like everyone grabbed onto. Like, okay, like I'm good with it. It's good for the channel. It's it's good for Bisping and I just it's just still very shocking to me a lot of times, the things that are news to people that I don't necessarily always think is going to end up being a newsworthy story.
So who else has done something fucked up to you that you're holding back and haven't told anybody?
Oh man, I'm gonna write a book someday. We'll just let those leak out one at a time. Dude,
yeah, that can be a podcast. Like once you're done, you're like, the podcast can be like I don't know, I'll come up with some clickbaity, clever thing for you, and then you can just tell stories about fucked up shit that happened outside the cage.
Yeah, it'll be a 10-hour-long podcast.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, guys, that's it. From a hotel room in California. That's what I got. I realized the sound was not like amazing because I'm doing this from a phone and I'm doing it with holding a phone up to my computer. So not the highest quality, but nonetheless, an exclusive nonetheless. So anyway, love you guys. Listen, if I haven't said it recently, I am incredibly grateful to my viewers, and thank you guys for the continued support. I love all of you guys that are subscribed. I like you guys that are not subscribed, unless you're here to just run your mouth in the comments. Everybody else, I like you guys a lot, but I love all my subscribers. All you got to do is just hit the button, and then you're on the love side. So anyway, love you guys. Peace.